Hey Battery fans, I'm your host Izzy Sullivan. Today I'm joined by Chairman and co-owner Rob Salvatore. It's been a crazy month for U.S. soccer and we officially have our first Open Cup win under our belt. So Rob and I are going to break down the Open Cup draw and our upcoming round of 32 matchup against DC United. Rob, the Open Cup is such a special and unique tournament. Do you have any moments or memories that really come to your mind when you hear Open Cup?
Yeah, I think, well, I'm on the record, I love it. I think it's so unique to soccer, obviously globally, and then in the States to have all divisions compete. And if you're a fan of other sports, it's like tennis or golf, right? Anybody can get in, and we see that. I think for me, it's been when you get through and you have a matchup against an MLS team. And we've been able to do that here. We've been able to go on the road and do it. And it's a really unique opportunity for the players and for our fans, and I'm really excited for this one coming up.
You're right, it's exciting. I mean, we did play them in preseason. That was a good game, and now we're playing them months later in an actual tournament. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
And we have, like you said, we have some people on the field who we know. We've got some friends there, which is really exciting. And then they have the Golden Boot winner from last year, so you have special talent that's there that our players will get to match up against directly. And I think for us, kind of regardless of the result, I know we had the draw through 120 minutes and we lost in penalties last year against Atlanta, but it was a huge confidence builder that we went toe to toe with them. I know when they subbed on, they made their substitutions in the 50th or whatever, 57th or 60th minute. It was like, oh my God, like look who's coming on. But we hung with them for another hour, and that's another reason why I think this tournament's incredible. Is you have an opportunity, a really unique opportunity in the middle of the season to really challenge yourself and get an assessment of where you are.
Can you talk a little bit about roster development and how this roster has come together with the latest marquee addition of Rubio Rubin ahead of this DC match?
Yeah, the rosters, it's really balanced and it's really deep. Of the 6 rosters that I've had, it's unique in that sense. We've had a lot of talent here over the years, and the groups have obviously, the last 2 groups have gone really far. We've had great individual seasons, what Fidel did a couple years ago, obviously what Nick did last year. But what I really like about this team is the balance and the depth. And my big takeaway, we talked about Rubio. I haven't met him yet. I'm excited. I've seen him play. I know what he's capable of, but he's gonna have to come in and earn it. And this is a talented team. They're definitely pushing each other. And then, I'd love to call out Nate and Joey in particular this last week. A course of 8 days, they play a couple hundred minutes. They don't come off the field. We have 3 great results. And in Joey's case, that's just being prepared, being a total pro, coming to practice, pushing himself. He gets an opportunity, and he's been awesome. And the team now has a ton of momentum, and that's where I think this group has the potential. If they keep building and stay focused, they're extraordinarily talented. So I'm excited, and I'm really, very impressed with what Lee and Ben have been able to do. I think we have a very cohesive vision and a lot of alignment in terms of where we want to go with the roster. And now that we're in that 3rd year with this coaching staff, you're starting to see that manifest itself with the construction of the roster, and then what have been really good results in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, like you said, it's the deep bench that I think has really been pushing us through. So this game coming up, us versus DC United, is one of the more special games in the Cup. There's a lot of familiarity on both sides. A few former DC players now with the Battery, with Husu and Luis Amudio, and vice versa. How does that extra element make this game more meaningful? Yeah,
don't know if you ever need the extra motivation going into a matchup with an MLS team, but there's a lot of respect. The same being true with the coaching staff. These are people who have worn our uniform, have played on this field, and as a result, they respect us. So they're not going to take us for granted. The same way we talked about familiarity with them, they know what we're capable of. They've been watching our results, and I think we're not stepping in and going to surprise them. So familiarity, maybe an advantage, maybe a disadvantage. I know it's going to be as competitive as all hell. And then when you get on the run, you become the darling. It's a little bit like March Madness, and we've seen this again. Sacramento goes through. last year. Indy's going through last year, and you see how the whole kind of North American soccer wants the underdogs. We see it with the amateur teams, right? We see it with El Forlito. We see the amateur teams kind of get everybody's affinity and everyone behind them, and that's what we're trying to do. But they've got a really tough matchup with a great team up there, and hopefully we just keep building and away we go, and we're in our best form when we see them on the 6th.
Rob, anything else to add?
No, I would just say to our fans, this is the ultimate test. If you can get up there, if you're a Battery fan who lives around DC, please come out. Having a few fans in the stadium is gonna matter. If you can, obviously, tune in and root the guys on. And if we happen to get through, then maybe we'll have another opportunity to do it live here.